What's going on, guys? We are here today with Dr. Mike. We're going to hit one of his workouts. I'm going to try to keep up with some bodybuilding, but we're going to have a little conversation, ask him a couple questions. I'm going to give my perspective from the CrossFit side of things and my experience, and then Dr. Mike, with his knowledge base, is going to fill in on some of the science of it all and give some better answers. But yeah, what are we getting into today? I already did quads this morning, so my legs are nice and toasted.
And hamstrings.
And hamstrings. But we're doing chest and triceps.
Chest, triceps, and delts.
Delts, perfect.
So 3 exercises we're gonna do. So they have a Cybex Smith machine at Lift VT, which is the best gym in Vermont, pretty much, for bodybuilding and power and hardcore powerlifting and strongman. And so we are privy to a Cybex Smith, which is the greatest Smith machine ever made. And if anyone tells you that's not true, they're a cool person, just delusional.
Just
and
wrong.
should probably be psychiatrically monitored for several hours. So we're gonna do close grip, close, medium-ish close grip presses for chest and triceps. Then we're gonna do some skull crushers on here for also triceps. And then we're just gonna go probably find some side delt machine or do some dumbbell stuff, do a bunch of sets of delts, and then feel all swole and maybe hit a few poses side by side in the mirror, and then probably look at each other deep in the eyes and realize, like, this whole time we've been lying to ourselves. There is chemistry here.
Let's figure some stuff out about ourselves, you know? I mean, it's been a while. So I'm 3 weeks out from doing the rim to rim to rim. So basically, like, leading up to that, I did no strength work or bodybuilding, anything. I would say before that, though, it's like I was doing a lot of like pure conditioning, and then I was on the classic split of like, all right, chest and triceps, back and biceps, then shoulders. And I was sprinkling in like legs and squats and deadlifts on a regular basis. But like an actual isolated workout, and it's like, so I did like the quads and hamstrings earlier, and it's like, I've never done a workout like that. It was so different from, I've been doing Olympic weightlifting since I was 12, and it's like, you don't care about aesthetics, and it's always a full body movement. It's always, you know, so focused on like the functionality of it instead of like just the isolated muscle, just the aesthetic part. So I've never done anything like these. So it's been a really cool experience.
Yeah! Just warming up.
What weight do you think you'll work up to?
Well, see, 225 to 250.
Okay.
Something like that.
And that's counting the bars, 45?
Yes, always. Yeah, I don't even fuck with the whole, like, how much does a bar really weigh in a Smith machine?
I love that.
I'm not trying to do any different kind of math. It's all pretend. All machine weights are pretend anyway.
Are you doing these very similar to the squat, like slow descent, pause at the bottom?
Yes, always.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, let me explain. So that's how it starts out, idea-wise.
Yeah.
And for the first 10 reps, that's what you do. Then you get greedy. And you get fucking pride. And you're like, fuck technique, I want to win. Yeah. I don't know what win means in the context, but just get the weight up however you can.
Yeah.
At some point, you're like getting your legs in, like, to try to push the bar. You're squiggling, everything's great. But as long as it's for glory, you're good to go.
Yeah. All right, perfect.
If we have genetics, intelligence, and if you remove one, which one will kill a champion first?
Genetics. Yeah, champions are born and then made. Yeah, every champion that tells you it's only hard work, they got them where they were and not talent, is just charitably unfamiliar with the state of the affairs. Because the dark side is this: there are thousands of people who put in as much or more work than the best people in the world. And you'll never hear about them because they don't have the genetics.
Yeah.
There are also thousands of people with phenomenal genetics that won't put any work, and you'll never hear about them for sure. So I would say genetics number one, hard work, a very important second place, critical, it's essential. Intelligence, that's where good coaching comes in.
Yeah.
Just do what your coach says, and you're good to go. And the dark side of this also, and you know, I'm known for transparency, so here we go. There's a shitload of fucking champions of all sports that are smart as fuck. And there's a shitload of people who are champions of sports that are like regular. there's a shitload of champions that you're like, how the hell do you tie your shoes in the morning level of dumb? And most champions that are pretty smart, when you start talking to them behind the scenes, you're like, what about XYZ? How is he? And a lot of times they're like, oh, he's great. And sometimes they're like, I have no idea how that person like figures out how to like purchase things at a store. And it doesn't much matter because of another variable. If you don't have a ton of intelligence, no big deal. If you're coachable, you're gonna be the fucking man.
Yeah.
Coachable means two things. Understanding that you don't know what the fuck you're doing and other people know it better. You guys need to see it me when I have a computer problem. Oh my God, I'm like, someone else please look at this.
Full on
you
Zoolander.
could have looked this up yourself. No, I'm a fucking idiot. I couldn't have looked up shit. I would have just made it worse. And so knowing is half the battle. The other half is being conscientious, which means being diligent about when your coach says do something, you do it as precisely as you're capable. And look, there ain't no rocket science in sport, motherfucker. A set of 10 in the squat is not difficult to fucking understand. But if you don't want to do a set of 10, if you have your own ideas about how to train and you're dumb, you're gonna have a bad time. So if you're not particularly intelligent, get a good coach, get any coach. Do what your coach tells you to do, monitor your own body, you're gonna do awesome. That's my public service announcement.
Like I think there's obviously like context with like, I think it depends on what sport or like your application when it comes to the intelligence.
Sure.
I think genetics, like I want to be the guy that says like, no, anyone can do anything, but it's like, no, I've watched guys that I've seen them train 6 hours a day and they're still just a string bean.
Yep.
And it's like, nope, there is just a different body type that like, you can squat till you're blue in the face and it's like, you're not, like I know like I'm a like hyper reactor. When I start working something, it just like the response. And I want to say that it's just my hard work or my work ethic or whatever. I think that was a huge contributor. But I think my genetics, like for weightlifting, I was okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't like
Elite.
I was good enough when I was broken into age and weight group, I was good. As soon as I went into the open division, nope.
Them's big boys.
And it was just like, I'm just slow twitch muscle. Like I am just very slow. So then when I got into CrossFit, I had tapped out all of my potential. So I was really good at technique, flexibility, coordination, and now add in where endurance is a huge contributing factor. It's like, oh, I tapped 100% of my potential in the weightlifting, and now I get to do the endurance stuff. That's where I
get to do the shit you're actually built for.
That's where I really took off, and it was just, I think that was so much genetic base, and I think I excelled to the level I did because of my routine, my work ethic, my mentality, and then I think in the sport I was doing, it's like there's so much thinking on the fly when it comes to like certain events.
Sure.
Going out for a 1-rep deadlift, there's not much strategy and that type of stuff, but it's like, all right, you know, you got this 30-minute Metcon with 8 different movements.
There's a cap to this shit.
Thinking on the fly, and I was really good at like jacked up heart rate. I'm able to think very critically. That's like very in tune with what's going on.
At some levels of intelligence, you're going to be paying the price on performance because you're just not making good strategic decisions or good tactical decisions. Mitchell Hooper, do you know who that is? Two-time world's strongest man. He's really fucking smart. And he's made decisions throughout his whole career of lift selection, warm-up cadence. That like, and he's like said this himself. He's like I'm not like, on every day that I'm competing, I'm not the strongest guy there. I make decisions I'm proud of. So and that's like that helps a shitload. I wish I had that.
I always got the questions of like, you know, like going into the games, like who do you have your eye on? Who are you worried about? And I was like, I'm worried about everyone.
Yes.
Because I've trained with them, or I see like
they're all killers.
I see stuff that they post, and I'm like, I can't fucking do that. And like it was so many things like that, where I was just like, no, I believe like if you're able to hang squat clean 355 for a triple, you're capable. And so it was stuff like that. Like I was like, no, like so many of these guys are so physically capable that then it made me zone in on like, all right, where are the little gains that I can get? Because I'm like, I can't fuck with you purely physically. but I'm going to recover better, I'm going to sleep better, I'm going to eat better, I'm going to stretch better. Like,
if we ranked it, if we percentiled what kind of day you're having, because of intelligence, you're able to have more 95% plus days on the day of competition, but some of your competitors are having 90% or 85% days. That's when you slide into first, man.
Yep.
Because they're just like, man, that's kind of always on. And you're like, that's not a talent thing, that's a planning thing.
No, that was literally, that was literally
when I reviewed your CrossFit workout situation for the RP channel, and you started talking about like blocks of periodization, and like with your pull-up abilities, obviously world class, fucking CrossFit world champ, you were doing banded pull-ups because you were like, I just need high volume, but I don't need to just grind away. I was like, this motherfucker's thinking. Holy shit.
Dude, training with other guys. There's one buddy that I trained with, Alex Anderson. He thought I was a pathological liar. He thought I was fucking with him all the time. I would go down to Georgia, train with him, and I would pull out a green band to do strict pull-ups. And he was like, he would just straight up be like,
he's fucking with
bullshit.
Me.
You're fucking with me.
Yeah.
No, I'm
you
like,
go back home and you do like chain pull-ups or something.
I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, dude. I'm like, I'm not lying to you.
Yeah.
Like,
I think there's something really cool. This is mildly ironic, but I mean some of this.
I mean some of this.
There's something really cool to being a champion whose training doesn't really inspire because it's so technical and so methodical and so planned. People like champions whose training is like, this fucking guy walks into the gym, brother, he just starts eating fucking iron plates and he bends a leg press in half. And you're like, yeah, because that's fucking awesome, you know? But if you're like someone who just gets the work done at a technical level and just puts in a shitload of volume with multi-day sessions, and you're doing all the stuff you need to be doing to win, there's a certain like, you're losing that. But I think it's awesome because like that's what it actually takes to win.
So I've thought about this. I'm like, people, and this is just like what I've told myself. I'm like, people are fans of the people that have the natural talent, just come in and can do the wild shit because that's what they wish they could do.
Yep.
They wish they could just come into the gym, show up, and be a superhero.
Yep.
Like discover the superpower about themselves.
Yeah.
But when they see like, so I think this is why I relate to so many people that are going through a huge weight loss journey. That's probably like my bigger fan base is like, because they're the ones that are grinding. So they relate to somebody that was grinding in that way. But then like the general population, like, no, you want to wake up and just discover, like what movie was it? The Sixth Sense, where he just kept bench pressing and realizing that he's like, oh.
Invincible?
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Is that what it was called?
Yeah,
Bruce Willis was in there anyway.
Yeah.
Sixth Sense is when his like dead kids around or whatever.
Yeah, no, you're right. And like,
which is sort of a superpower also. He's like, oh shit, I can see dead little kids.
And yeah, so he discovers that like he's immortal.
Yeah.
And he's like, I think people, that's their dream is that they walk into a gym for the first time, they're like, oh my God, I can set world records without even trying. Like,
The reality is though, you start out mortal as fuck, and then you just gain a pound of strength every month, and you just become Superman after 500 years of training.
Yeah.
Nobody really wants that though. It's just a lot of training. Fuck that.
We're having a good time getting into bodybuilding workout right now, but it's actually a good reminder that we also have a bodybuilding program on our HWPO app. So you can use the code YouTube30 for 30% off. Go check it out.
Something I really, really like to do in training is if I'm doing a higher rep set series, what I like to do is do my last warm-up as something heavier than my working weight.
Okay.
Like let's say you're doing sets of 10, and this applies to anything north of sets of 10. Shit, this even applies to sets of 5. You're doing a set of 10 at, today I'll be doing, I think 250 is what I'm gonna try to bench for reps. So I'll just use that as an example. I'm gonna do 250 for something like 10 to 20 reps or something. Cool. But I want the nervous system preparation for my nervous system and my Golgi tendon organs and all that to wake up to like a bigger weight so that I step down to my rep weight. You know when you start, like you get like a rep weight in your fucking hands on squat or on bench and you're like, you start doing it, you're like, this is heavy. How the fuck many reps am I supposed to do with
Yeah,
this?
yeah, yeah.
I'd much rather prefer it feels light. And then
Yeah.
the endurance kills me rather than like the perception of weight kills me
Yeah.
as well. So what I like to do is I'm gonna go to 275 right here,
Yeah.
do it for a set of 4, hopefully. And then after that, it's kind of like when I go to 250 to do my rep sets, I'm like, oh, well, this isn't that bad.
Yeah, that's funny. Like depending on what the workout was, like I'm just thinking of the games. If there's snatches at 225, I'm working up to 245 in the warm-up area, hit 1 or 2 reps,
Yes.
and then hit the floor.
Because the reps, they just feel, it's just so much smoother.
Yeah,
So much smoother. This really works well if you guys want to try this at home. If you're trying to hit like a high rep set or a few sets of pull-ups, throw a 25 or a 45 on the fucking belt, do a set of 2 or 3 reps,
yeah,
throw it off, wait 3-4 minutes. That first set of body weight after that is just going to be like the easiest set of body weight you've ever felt. It's totally different.
I'm definitely going to integrate that in because like right now, like getting back into it, I'm just like, all right, there's some things that are always staples in my training. And for me, like the last couple of years, I'm like 5 sets of 10 strict pull-ups, at different grips, but I'm like, I think that's just a good life skill, like to stay healthy, be active. And it's always just 5 sets of 10, like different amount of rest in between and shit. But yeah, I'll definitely start doing that because I always just like, I'll do a couple, like kind of the stretching, get the active, and then just jump right into it.
Sure.
But it's like, yeah, that makes sense. I'm
Especially
like, yeah,
if you're trying to go for a rep PR, massive.
Yeah. I could follow this fucking guy around the gym for a week.
So in bodybuilding or CrossFit, in sports like that, can you be the best in the world without being fully obsessed? The answer is yes. But if you had genetically and through fate the rest of the universe conspiring to help or hurt you, if you have the genetics and the situation to, let's say, win the games 5 times, but you weren't fully committed and obsessed, you might win the games once or twice. So it's possible to become the world's best, not fully committed or obsessed, but to get your most potential so that you're the world's best multiple times, absolutely impossible. If you are a top 2, 3, 4 kind of guy, and you're not obsessed, you're gonna stay there probably. If you are obsessed, you might win one year, which will change your life, because being the best at anything ever is like a category different than being second place. So obsession with the game is not a requirement for success, but it massively boosts the living shit out of your success. And there are 2 kinds of obsession. I want to make very, very certain that we're on the same page about this. One is a neuroticism. That's just nervousness. It's not going to help you. The right kind of obsession is calmly and with pleasure executing on the basics day in, day out, week in, week out, month for years. You love the fucking process. You don't have to be like, oh, I'm counting rice grains. Just do the right shit 90% of the time. That's just reality, bro.
Oh man.
I tried the obsession shit. It didn't work.
There were certain things that like, just so many people were like this is the key to success. And I'm like, so take nutrition or like macros or paleo, whatever it was, and like being so strict. I'm like, for me to do that, it's gonna take, I always looked at like, I had like the old school life bar from like Sega Genesis Street Fighter.
Bandwidth,
I'm
bro.
Like,
bandwidth.
I have 100 points to spend every day.
Yes.
If I dial in my nutrition, it's going to take 20 of those points and I'm going to get 5 back.
Yep.
But if I obsess over like the sleep, the body work, and the training, spend all 99 points on that. Mm-hmm. That's how I broke down everything of like looking at workouts. I'm like, what's the give and take? How much of my life bar is this going to take from me? And so like there were certain things about my nutrition, but the biggest one for me was just getting the volume. Mm-hmm. Like the amount that I was eating was off the fucking charts, but
you need to eat a lot.
But then like when I would post that it's like 2 meals a day for me is air fried chicken tenders with Chick-fil-A sauce,
which is great.
I'm like,
people would freak out.
It's not the best. Like you think, like this person thinks that it's like, oh, it has to be boiled chicken breast plain.
Right.
I'm like,
for like more suffering.
I'm like, I'm getting 95% of the benefit
Yep.
you are, but
Yep.
I'm enjoying this.
Yep, which is a
And
benefit
I'm
of itself.
And I'm
Enjoyment
looking-
reduces your cortisol levels, raises your recovery.
Yep.
There are definitely times to be miserable as fuck.
Yeah.
It's just a part of sport. But I think people get a little confused. And
No, there would be nights where it was like, you know what? I was like, I know, like I just need, like we had a snack drawer in our house that had truffles and just like what I would consider junk food.
yeah, bullshit.
And there'd be nights I'm like, no, I'm gonna eat a dozen of these fucking things right now because I'm so depleted, I'm so tired, I'm so miserable, and this is just gonna make me happy.
Yeah, man.
And I'm like, yep, it's gonna take 1 point away on the physical side, but it's gonna boost me 10 points on the mental side. And like,
As a sports physiologist, let me back up on that. It's going to add 9 points, 9.75 points instead of 10 points to the physical side. Because sugar, carbs, calories
Yeah.
physically revitalize you.
Yeah.
So like candy bars and shit, like they actually help the training process. The only concern is twofold. Health, which is like if you're highly active and you have a fucking candy bar every few days, it does not matter.
Yeah.
And the other one is like optimal body composition. But like, when's the last time they were like, gonna hand you the CrossFit trophy and they're like, oh, your abs aren't an 8-pack,
I
there's a
was-
6-pack. Sorry.
I was always like the pudgiest.
Right.
I was the only one on the field that
Yeah.
had this little spare tire.
Yeah.
But also, I remember like one of my first big competitions, like ready to take my shirt off, and then everyone else in the corrals took their shirt off, and I was like, nope,
Fuck that.
I'm keeping my fucking shirt on. But then also, by day 3 of the CrossFit Games, I'm like, your body's eating your bones for fuel
Yeah.
right now.
Congratulations.
And it looks like my performance is doing this and everyone else staying flat.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm staying flat and everyone else is
Yeah,
just
man.
tanking.
No tank. Literally,
And it was just,
literally no tank.
and it was literally because I
Yep.
I always
Yep.
had this.
Yep. And it's funny because at higher body fat levels, your performance is just going to be higher.
Yeah.
Like people have all sorts of illusions, which like I have, everyone has. They're preferred illusions because they make the world look cool. They think like the way to become the best athlete at everything is just be like, fuck, just stripped up, man. Like a world champ has to have quad veins.
Yeah.
And then like a ripped 6-pack. And you see real world champions, you're like, what? But the reality is on the sports science end, we're like, yeah, like generally 10 to 15% body fat is where most athletes will be their best.
Yeah.
There's exceptions. Like endurance athletes are a little leaner.
Yeah.
Football players are way on the other end of that shit. But like 10 to 15, just not as sexy as fucking 8 or 7.
Well, like, I showed Carlos, like, what was that, a couple of weeks ago, I was like, I have this one picture from training. It was like one of the worst weeks of training I ever had in my life. I bonked out so many things, but it was the 1 week that like I like dialed in my nutrition to what somebody told me to do. And I remember Sam and I were long distance dating, and it was like I finished a squat session, and like I was
away
in my home gym, so I'm just in my compression shorts and my lifters,
Uh-huh.
and I always squatted in front of a mirror.
Uh-huh.
And so I just took one photo
Yeah,
of me
man.
like, look at this sweetheart, like just like
I had a shitty workout today, by the way.
I was like, but it doesn't look like it. I look fucking ripped.
exactly.
And I was like, this is the photo I'll show my grandkids.
Yes.
Of like, yo, granddaddy
Yeah.
used to be a fucking.
Yeah. They're like, oh, granddaddy was a CrossFit champion. You're like, this is not why I was a CrossFit champion, though. I think a lot of people who do CrossFit around the world, they just want the CrossFit body.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying?
It's a great looking body.
CrossFit ladies, hello. You can't argue against the body. CrossFit men, also hello. Dude, here's the bullshit. I was at CrossFit Games one year, and they had like the 50 to 55 men walk by to be taken to an event. There was like 20. And I was like, I swear to God, I'm straight. All these like salt, pepper fucking dudes with like 8-packs. And I was like, what the hell? I'm not into this, am I?
Dude,
My God, dude.
There was one time I remember coming off the floor and walking through the warm-up area, and there was the masters, and they were all warming up. Same look, super clean cut, long white beards, and fucking
That's daddy's look.
and like all of them are coming over and like, yo, Matt, can we get a picture? And I was like, motherfucker, like I couldn't imagine being your kids, or being your grandchildren, like at the beach.
It's a superhero.
Like, I'm sorry, that's your grandfather over there? Just shut.
One eternity later.
20.
When you're going, like, are you focusing on like your lower back being into the bench? Like I know for myself, it's like I can add 100 pounds onto my bench if I like hook my toes under, like engage my lats into the movement. Like
For free bench, yes. For Smith machine, close grip like this, no. I actually just roll my shoulders forward before I start.
yeah.
I just want like a crazy range of motion.
Okay. Cool.
But you should do this exactly how will get you the highest number of reps.
Yeah. Okay.
Gorgeous. Yes. Ooh, 14. Ooh, that's awesome.
Ooh. I was fucked up. I'm always like, yeah, all right, I'm far enough back, and as soon as I unrack it, I'm
Yes.
like, fuck,
Yeah, I
gotta
hate
get
that.
more.
The first rep's like crushing you. You're like,
Yeah.
this is stupid. How old are you?
I'm 16.
Oh, we're not allowed to touch. All right, I'm
okay.
kidding. Maybe.
Thank you so much. Nice to
pleasure,
meet
of
you.
course.
Thank you.
Likewise.
Legitimately
Likewise.
don't
Thank
think
you
I've
so much.
ever
What's your
benched
name?
on a Smith
Davis.
machine.
Davis. Nice
Yeah.
meeting you.
Nice
Very
to
cool.
meet you.
What's up? How are you? Mike.
Yeah.
Jeremiah. You want a picture also? Super.
More depending on the
Oh, really?
Because it's like forcing your angle a little bit,
Yeah.
you know, your band.
Of course.
I've
my
also
pleasure.
never.
We're trying to
Very cool. Let me do a set real quick and I'll be right with you.
Everyone's freaking out about Mike, and I just want to know what they're thinking of. Like, who the fuck is the guy who's training with? I won a raffle. I get a training session with Mike. Yeah, make a win. Hey, what do you got? Is it the cancer? Oh, dude, I was.
Of course, my pleasure.
I had
Likewise.
the same thing.
Nice and easy. Good technique. Yes. Good stuff. Let me tell you exactly why I said several times that in some sense CrossFit athletes are the best athletes, period. It's only for one specific reason. You boys out here, single, trying to mingle, and if you say nice things about CrossFit ladies, then they might, you know what I'm saying, send you smile face emojis in your DMs, then you're in. And that was the only reason I ever said that, because to be honest, I don't even think CrossFitters are real athletes. Talk that shit now, baby. Talk that shit now.
We'll run one lap around the gym, then we'll fucking
No, please,
chest up.
I'll have a heart attack. Like, Dr. Mike, CrossFit are not real athletes, and you looking pissed for the thumbnail, like, oh shit, there's beef. I think that if you describe the sport of CrossFit to a sport coach who is at their prime in understanding modern periodization before CrossFit was invented, they'd be like, shut up, it's impossible. And then if you were to take people from top sports, weightlifting, running, gymnastics, and you showed them the standards of what the elite CrossFitters are able to do after, let's say, 2005, roughly, and into today, people would be like, that's nonsense. Nobody could be that good at that many things. The idea that you can be an unreal athlete, not the best, unreal at like 20 different sports is psychotic. And so like, when you're the best powerlifter, you're a god. When you're the best CrossFitter, you're not the best powerlifter, but you're a really good powerlifter in every gym in the world, and a really good swimmer, and a really good runner, and a really good gymnast, and the shit just gets wild after a while. Like,
Yeah.
if I had to get someone, you guys ever see that, there's a Korean show, like Physical 100? It's like a Korean competition show.
I literally just got asked to be on the show last week.
Did you say yes?
No.
You stupid. Do you have a Jewish agent, or what the fuck is wrong with you?
No,
man?
it was in the summer. And I was like, I want to enjoy my summer vacation.
God damn you. We're gonna open up. I'm not your Jewish lawyer / contract guy.
This is literally 4 or 5 days ago.
So Physical 100, I was really curious who was gonna win it because it was just a smorgasbord. And there's just like one unassuming CrossFit Korean dude. And of course he fucking toasted everybody.
Yeah.
And it was like, of course. I was like, of course he fucking won.
Yeah.
Because people are like asking, like, you know, watching it with friends, like, who do you think is gonna do well? I'm like, all the wrestlers, all the weightlifters, they're fucked because they don't have the endurance. All the super skinny endurance people are fucked because they can't do pull-ups. And then one guy's like, I'm a CrossFitter. But I didn't know if he was a good CrossFitter or not.
Yeah.
I was like, I wouldn't rule that guy out. And then he just quietly, with every single challenge, he just hung around and then he just won. And it was
Well,
like,
it was the same as
best athlete.
The one that The Rock did, the Titan Games or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah, Danny Spiegel and Matt Chan. Like, Matt Chan is 40 some odd years old. He was one of the best CrossFitters in his day. And then he just showed up, like he and Spiegel just like ran away with it.
Spiegel's the girl, right?
Yeah.
Yo. That many curves, how is that like authorized by the US government? God damn. And I want that on record.
We'll keep it in.
Yeah, gorgeous, unreal. All right, let me do a set here. Let me get distracted. Keep me the fuck away from CrossFit girls. I don't need to be around that shit. I'm an ethical man, trying my best. Yeah, fuck yeah, Matt. One more, let's go. Yes.
Okay. The bar was in a good position on that set.
Yes,
I felt the difference.
that was grooved in. We did a leg workout earlier, which is on the RP Strength channel, or will be soon, depending on when you watch this. And like, we tried to kill him, straight up. Like, we've trained elite CrossFitters before we trained Rich Froning, and we didn't have bodybuilding equipment, so we just couldn't hurt him. But I was like, we're gonna hurt this motherfucker. And we did, we made him go to failure and shit. But like, during the set, it's just machine-like. And in between sets, he just like has a smile on his face, he's like, oh, that was great. And I'm like, do another set of 25 mile reps. And he's like, great. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, the mentality's nuts. It's, there was a wrestler back in the day, David Schultz, Olympian, champion
You say
wrestler.
Schultz?
Schultz.
Yeah.
He,
I used to go to the Schultz tournament every year.
fuck yeah. He's one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, greatest Americans. And he had probably the best sports quote I've ever heard, which is, I've heard a lot of quotes. And he said something, I'm paraphrasing, but you can Google the quote. He's like, people always talking about sucking it up and grinding. I don't like when you're like doing multiple like hard rolls or hard goes in wrestling. He's like, I just never got that. It's like, I want to be here. This is what I want to do. Like, nobody has to talk me into it. Like, oh my God, how do you beat that guy? The answer is you don't. He just wins the Olympics. Like, if you don't fucking love the crazy ass shit most of the time, 90% of the time, if you're not like, yeah, I want to fucking bleed. I want to break in half out here. If you have that mentality, you're going to get a lot out of your body. If you have a mentality of like, oh, I kind of want to be a champ, but I kind of want to get away with as little as possible, you're going to end up like me, hopeless, alone, pathetic, barely functioning penis, and that barely is doing a lot of work. Way more work than my penis, which is doing zero work. Think about that. Whoa, those are my weights, bro. I'm kidding. What do you want them at, 25, yeah?
Yeah,
Sorry, real quick.
Put 25s on each side.
Get a nice extension, and what you want to do is move your elbows down towards your cock and keep them in. Touch your nose, basically, and then come all the way up. Yep, just like that. Super smooth, perfect. Yeah, just do like a set of 6 or something. Yep, perfect. Cool. And what we'll do is, how was that? Was that a little challenge? Will that be challenging for a set of 15?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna throw up. Can you throw a 45 on top of that?
Yep.
A lot of folks talk shit about the Smith machine, and some of that's well deserved, because I think people like have. There's a group of people, myself included, which are always trying to slide in impressive shit into a category it doesn't belong. So like, if people ask you like, oh, what's your best bench, and you answer in Smith machine, but you don't say that. Yeah. And so like, because people like can lift more on the Smith machine oftentimes, they want to take credit for that shit. They just kind of like, And so in that respect, the Smith machine's not great. If you're training athletes and you want like a rapid carryover to sport performance, free weights are probably a little bit better. Although over time it doesn't much matter because you add muscularity and overall strength, it'll convert. But you know, the Smith machine gets the kind of the appropriate amount of hatred for people that have misused it as like a stand-in for a power rack. But if you're using a Smith machine for a particular purpose, you can get a really good technique in it. There's a layer of stability you don't have to have, so you can actually put more into mind-muscle connection and getting good contact with your triceps, pecs, quads, whatever it may be. Then all of a sudden the Smith machine is super fucking useful. The Smith machine also, if you do it wrong, like so in the squat, if you like leverage so far forward or so far backward that your hips or your knees are getting damaged, the squat fixes itself because your center of gravity ultimately decides how you're gonna do that. The Smith machine, there's no center of gravity, is never consulted, and so you can like torque your knees and back like crazy on a Smith machine. Like if you have like, if you get a Smith going, you don't know what you're doing, and the Smith center of axis is here, but your feet are back here. I've seen people do that. Like random housewives and shit at the gym, and they're like squat like that, and you're like, don't fucking do it. You can't do that in a regular bar. Don't do that in a Smith machine, so there's that concern as well. But generally, Smith machine is a tool in the toolbox, and for isolating muscles, becoming more vertical, reducing axial fatigue, a few other things, it's a fucking excellent tool. So that's what I think, but I'm also I'm also paid off by Big Smith Machine, an industry conglomerate. Our headquarters are actually on the moon. They pay me good money to use the Smith machine and say things about it that aren't like true, but they'll sell more Smith machines. So link in bio, Smith machine, Dr. Mike Smith code.
Yeah, Dr. Mike 15 for your discount.
15% off of all Smith machines.
How often you record him?
Usually naked.
Naked, yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes he lets me not film the OnlyFans, and we film some gym content as well.
Yeah, so you're used to it.
Yeah, I'm used to it.
So how long have you been working with Mike now?
8 years.
Oh, wow.
Too long.
Yeah.
Too long. Yeah, we started the YouTube channel in like COVID times, basically, and here we are. Yeah.
How's the experience so far with Matt?
Honestly, he's the man, dude. Like, he's been like super chill, like works super hard, takes coaching really well, doesn't complain. Like, we film with a lot of people, right? And like, some people aren't quite as hardworking, we'll say. And yeah, it's cool to see. And like the work capacity of like a pro CrossFitter is just crazy. Like, most bodybuilders aren't going to do what he did today. It's just crazy. So yeah, little different for us to see this in person.
God, I love working triceps. It's the muscle for me that's like, I can get a pump in a tricep.
No shit,
so
dude, you have really like big round triceps.
Ooh.
It's awesome. Big triceps are a good looking muscle. Is being elite at any sport unhealthy? I think the best answer I have for that is that it's not unhealthy. It's somewhere from slightly to moderately to massively less healthy than optimal. You take a bodybuilder on all the drugs in the world weighing 290, he's still healthier than if he was on recreational drugs and weighed 290 and was just fat, but not much healthier because of all the drugs. You take somebody who's a CrossFitter, it's insanely healthy. But the number one downside of CrossFit at an elite level for health is total workload volume, total imposition of systemic stress. You're just gonna age faster if you train 2 times more than what is ideally healthy, because that's how much training roughly it takes to get the best.
I've preached this for years of like, I would get the people like, oh, what you do is so cool. Like, I've seen the videos, but I can never do that. And I'm like, no, like what I do and what, like, if you sign up for CrossFit and you're showing up for your 1 hour class, I'm like, they're 2 separate things. Like, my mother, who's 70 years old, does a daily CrossFit workout.
Yeah. As well as she should.
Like, they're 2 very different things. And then like my diet, you know, I'm taking in as close to 10,000 calories a day as possible.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I was, you know, like I floated between like 190 and 205 at 5'6". You know, like, is that healthy? Like, you know, I'd be doing my zone 2s with a pile of Snickers and Reese cups next to me, like just getting the sugar, and it's like, is that ideal? No, like,
sure.
I'm like, I haven't had a Gatorade or a Snickers bar like in a normal setting since I retired.
Yeah, man.
But it's like, I was going for performance, not health.
Yeah.
So it's like, they're 2 separate worlds, but like, am I healthier than the guy, you know, binge watching Netflix and not doing any exercise? Yeah, I'd like to think so. But yeah, you know, the stress on the body, like the stress on the mind, like, yeah, I'm sure that it's not ideal. Like,
not ideal. It's really good for you still. But if you were optimizing for health, you wouldn't get into competitive CrossFit.
That's what I'm looking to do now. Is like, no, I train 90 minutes to 2 hours a day, like in my home gym. It's like the throttle got pulled way back.
Yep.
The diet, I eat maybe a third of what I used to. You know, in terms of like actual sugar, it's next to none.
Sure.
You know, so like I made all those adjustments to actually like, no, like I still want to perform, but not at the sacrifice of the mental stress, the physical stress, the shit that I'm eating and stuffing myself every night to try to recover for the next day. I think the big thing is like the imbalance. If somebody's going to be a champion, especially if you're breaking records, repeat champion, there's not much balance in life in terms of like, you know, your work life, your training life, your social life, your relationship. It's like, it's a pretty selfish lifestyle. And I always said that. I'm like, no, I don't have kids. I'm not married. I don't have a job. I hope all of that changes in the near future when I retire. But right now, while I can afford to do this,
Full send.
I want to be the most selfish fucking person that there is. Find out how far I can push this thing. You know, it's like now that I have a business and kids and a house, like all these things, I'm realizing more and more how rare of an opportunity I had.
Yeah, man.
Of like, oh, I get to focus on nothing else. Day in, day out is pursuing this one singular goal. Whereas now I still have goals that I'm pursuing and shit, but it's like, I get a couple, like a 2-hour window, a couple times a week to dive into it. Whereas before it was like 7 days a week, motherfucker. Like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
It's the definition of talent. If I tried to do Ronnie Coleman's workout, I would die halfway through. The real critical insight of what Matt did to win isn't the amount, it's the structure. It's the intelligence behind the program. It's phasic. It's preparing for later, not trying to be the best CrossFit world champ today, 8 months before the fucking games, and looking at things strategically, and then doing as much as you can recover from, but not more and not less. I think people do verbatim workouts of champions, and that's an insane idea because you could have a higher work capacity. You could be slower twitch than you and benefit from more work. If someone wanted their quads to really come up and they just did your quad program, well, you got gifted quads. It was the first thing on your body that grew really big. They may or may not get, they could do double the quads and benefit. Directly copying people is an absurd idea a child would try if you were doing fucking sport training. Copying in the sense of getting insight about the logical structure of training and applying it to yourself, huge win. And look, like the reality is like, we just don't make legends very often. This is a legendary person. So like the idea that if you copied his exact shit and you won CrossFit games 5 times would be fucking insane because there's 1,000 other people copying the shit. So is there 1,000 5X champions? No, well they're not gonna all be able to win. And so I would just say really try to tell people to not ever verbatim copy anyone's anything. Get what you said earlier, get your tidbits from it, apply them to your own shit. Matter of fact, actually, why don't you do a set of skull crushers? We're getting smaller out here.
I like what you said of like, I wasn't the fittest person in the gym every day throughout the year. It's like, one of our coaches, Jake, he was my first employee, and like I met him when he was like 17 or so. He went to Sammy's gym. So when I was in town in the off season, he would like come train with me, and he would like be keeping up with me or like beating me in workouts, and he would be like, holy fuck, Matt.
He's like, am I the world champion now?
He was like, yo, Matt won the games, and I'm like keeping up with him, sick. And then it was like years later when he then was like trying to compete at the games, and he was like, I owe you an apology. He was like, I was that dickhead beating you in workouts or like putting the throttle down when you're like a week in after a month off. I looked at my fitness level as like these peaks and
weird.
And I'm like, no, I'm not trying to sustain this fitness or this intensity.
People do it all the time, bro. They get
year.
addicted to the shit.
Yeah.
Because if you feel like you're not your best all the time, you start to lose belief in yourself too.
I looked at it as like, I'm like, people do this as a comfort blanket.
Yeah.
This is like, they need to prove to themselves every day that like, I'm still capable. I can still do it. And I was always like, how long can I go?
Strategic patience.
Yeah. My off season was off, like nothing. And every year I did the same first workout back. It was 500 meters on the rower, 1 minute rest, 10 rounds. And like every year, like there's one year I did it, and like I know what my personal record score is.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm literally 10 seconds on top of my pace. Like I think my personal record was like in the 136s, and it's like the first workout back, and I remember my endurance coach was my neighbor, so he was like in the gym with me, Chris Henshaw, and like I was pulling like a 147, and after 7 rounds I stopped. I was like, I can't, like, I'm too fucked up. I'm like doing damage at this point.
Yeah.
And I walked into the kitchen. Sammy's there cooking something. And I was like, sweetheart, I pushed it too far. It's all gone. It's all like I went too far this time.
Too far in the off season. You lost it all.
And then
3 weeks later,
not even.
Yeah.
It's like
Week and a half.
I always said like I need to callus up my lungs.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, like Fran lung. Like,
Oh, yeah.
It's just your first time with that amount of air going in and out, scratching up your fucking soft tissue. I was always like, I just need a week to callus up my lungs.
Yeah.
And it was just like, and then it stops hurting as much.
I love
you
it.
stop getting that cough.
I love it. I love it. Yes. I'm gonna do one more set, and then we can go to the posing.
Oh, Jesus.
We can go to the posing corner,
Oh, geez.
hit a few shots, rest a little bit, and then do delts. Yeah.
You're gonna make me fucking take off
get
my
out of
shirt. Jesus Christ. I just love how it's like everyone in this gym knows exactly who you are, and half of them are wondering who the fuck is that guy, like, slaughtering.
And the reality is 100% 180 to that. I'm like some chump asshole shit bodybuilder, and you're a fucking literal god. It's hilarious. I love the dynamic. I love it because I want to talk to some of these people. And be like, do you know who that is? Like, I'll be like, you should. Excellent. You look ridiculous. I'm gonna pose here in a sec. Okay, yeah. You can make me look like shit. No, dude, you're not in anybody's way.
Jesus Christ. Flex hamstring.
Just so like, actually, let's get more in the light. There we go. Yeah.
How do you feel?
Look at his calves, dude.
How do you
They're like
feel to
fucking
pose?
like red bricks. I've never felt smaller. Like maybe like when I met like Thor and Brian Shaw. It's like you feel like you're like, hold me. All right, guys, that's it for today. We got a great chest and tri workout in, a little bit of shoulders at the end. We'll be back tomorrow. Keep in mind this is part 1 of 2, and then Mike is also doing a couple videos on his side.
RP Strength, Renaissance Periodization, YouTube Augusta. We'll see you on there. We have a few videos that are all going to be awesome. And see you then. See you there.